has been gotten. Alright, so here we are. We're rolling now. Look at that. We're moving. We're moving.
As you plan daily and give monthly reminders, spiritually. Thanks for looking at my KTI.
Wondering. Oh, I got thinking. I wonder if I can park over there. Yeah. I wonder if I can get. I'm gonna pull it further yet here. This might work. Thinking. Sorry, I got lost here for a minute. I've never parked over here. What a rush. I was thinking that for some reason I got thinking about background and filming and stuff. And let's see. Okay, now oops, come on here, I gotta loosen this a little bit so I can turn this thing. Okay, so that's kind of the view on this side of the camper, which would be out behind me if I set the camera up on the in the dining booth and recorded after I leave here tonight. And then I got a view this way down there. So I'm thinking that if I can get this about this kind of an angle out of it, it might be a little bit of an interesting angle if I get into talking about stuff with traffic coming by. And that might be a little more interesting than my boring conversation, to at least have some traffic behind my boring conversation. I don't know, but conversation's not always boring. Or when I get talking. Sometimes I get over to talk about some really, really good stuff. I think it's not a bad idea. And the angle that I got going here, I think is pretty good, because you'll see the cars that they're taking a left coming from the east will look like they're coming right at us, like they're about to smack right into the side of us. So it might make for an interesting backdrop. I just got to figure out how to do the lighting I got these Walmart fans. Shut that off. I got these Walmart fans that are USB rechargeable, and they have a light ring around them too that got 3 different brightnesses. So I'm thinking if I were to do some recording tonight out that window at the intersection here, if I do them up higher, because I don't want them to be shining out the window so drivers can see the ring light, you know. And they're soft enough, I think, if I do them up higher, aiming them down at me, on this side aiming them down at me up higher, it'll light up, it should light up my face enough so you guys can see me while I'm talking, but not be too bright to where it's going to show, where people coming around the corner are going to be seeing the camper all lit up inside. You know, so that way you'll be, and the camera will pick up what's outside at night better with the lower lighting shining on my face from a distance, I think. I don't know. See, I'm still learning this camera stuff. I've already found out that, like, if I got it, because I haven't learned all the ISO settings and stuff, I leave it on auto. And if it's too bright, if the light is too bright in front of me, then the window behind me gets kind of like whited out or blotted out or something, where you can't really see what's going on outside if it's too bright. So, well, if the bright's too light coming in behind me, I should say, you can see. Well, it's just crazy, the lighting, how it works. I've had it blow out behind me because it's so bright behind me, and then you can't see me because the light's behind me too much. I don't really care if you see me or not, because I didn't want to be on camera in the first place. But it is important, so you can, you know, attach a face to what you're hearing and stuff, you know. And it helps show my personality and stuff too, if you can see my facial expressions and all that kind of stuff, you know. So when I'm being a goofball, you can see me being a goofball. Not just hear me being a goofball. Yeah. The only reason I'm kind of lollygagging or dilly-dallying right now is because I'm going to finish this hot cocoa coffee. I've cut down on the hot cocoa now. Before, because I don't like coffee, I was mixing 2 of the little hot cocoa packets in with the big tall mug of this, with the Rise coffee packet. And that was enough to dampen down the coffee flavor. Well, now I've got down to 1 pack, and it's not so bad. 1 pack and a little bit of honey for the sweetening, and it's tolerable. I did choke down just a coffee one the other day because I had a free hotel room. That's another advantage of my free play. This last time I did pretty good. It got me on a road trip, so I'm not sitting in the same dang parking lot over and over with nothing going squirrel crazy or something. Getting all cabin fever trapped in this little box for 10 months. So it got me on a road trip, gets me out of the house or the camper. Get to socialize with some new people a little bit, because I also meet different people when I'm doing my free play at the casino. And I get picked on because I play a penny at a time or 2 pennies at a time. So gamblers pick on me, and they're like, I don't know how you can do that, you know. That must get monotonous, just playing a penny or 2 pennies or a nickel or something. I'm like, no, I said it gets me out, it has fun, and that way, well, I'm not working now, so it don't matter, but even when I was working, I'd only bring like 20 or 40 bucks. And that way I don't spend a lot of money either. So I could go still have a social outing, play some pennies, I don't waste a lot of money, and it's actually cheaper than going to the movies. And I have a very slim odds of profiting. But the main thing is, when I was working, the main thing is staying disciplined, staying betting little pennies like that, and not betting big. You got to realize for me anyway, I got to realize I'm just doing this to get out, have a social outing, talk with people, play. And there are times playing my little pennies have won really, really good. Believe it or not, true story. Oh, there goes the yellow slug bug, but I can't get you for that one because I think it's the same one that went by that way earlier. Well, but I could have different viewers. Slug bug, no backs. I didn't get that one on camera. Okay, it doesn't count. So, yeah, one time I never had a hand pay. There's a bigger story into it, but a long story short, betting a nickel on a 1 line times 5. I got 4 progressive symbols that get you into the bonus and won a little over $13,000 all on a nickel. Never ever in my wildest dreams would I dream that would happen. It's kind of wild. The story is even more amazing than that. But I'm not going to get into that story right now. We'll do that in another video. But that was about, I don't know if it was, it was a lot of years ago. And boy, did it help out. It helped out a lot then, because that was another time that extra finance really helped out. But I wish I could do something like that now. But the thing is, I don't chase after that. That was just I'd say a fluke thing or whatever, you know, because the odds are astronomical, but it can happen. Depending on the machine you're playing and what the rules are. And on that particular machine, even betting 1 penny, you could hit the progressive. So, even though on that machine you can bet up to like $10 a spin or some crazy stuff like that. That's like, I can't even imagine that. I'd have a heart attack. So, I forget where I was going with this whole deal here. I got thinking about that story. Oh man. This is like a wandering ride kind of video. Last 2 have been, or 3 or something. I start talking about something and my mind wanders off somewhere else. I think part of it might be because I'm kind of burning out on this whole experience. Sure hope the Lord's gonna make stuff happen soon. One way or the other. Whether some amazing miracle is gonna come into my life from the Lord, or whether He sends me to a different job, or a job to me, or one of them I've applied for, one of the many I've applied for, had interviews for, decides to hire me even temporarily, or I hope something's gonna give here pretty soon. I can't complain, but I'm gonna. That was funny. I can't complain, but I'm gonna. No, why I can't complain is because, you know, the Lord said He'll provide, and He has. It's been amazing. I never ever would have dreamed that I could be living in a camper in Minnesota through the winter, unemployed, denied unemployment, fired from my job, my brother taking over $100,000 and keeping it from me, and stealing everything that I had, pretty much. Not everything, but pretty close to it. And starting my life over in a camper. And I never would have dreamed that from doing all that stuff and then, you know, being fired from my job or terminated or whatever, however you want to. It was kind of a wishy-washy situation. But denied unemployment. Even though it said I qualified for over $547 a week or something like that, because I, you know, paid in a lot or whatever. But I was denied it, so even though I qualify for that, I don't get it. And I don't get it. You understand that? So even though it said I qualify for $547 a week, that's what they said I qualified for. But then they told me I don't get it because I don't get unemployment, and I don't get it. Basically, when I say I don't get it and I don't get it, is because of them saying I don't get it, I'm denied. The other I don't get it is I don't understand, you know, why I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense. I should have it. I mean, rule stipulations and stuff. I don't know. But I'm more of a God person, you know, by God's law and what's right and what's right and just, and not man's law, because man's law definitely contradicts God's law in a lot of ways. And but for the most part, I try not to let that eat at me too much. It does a bit when it affects your livelihood, but my point of that was that I never would have dreamed, even though the Lord said He'd provide, I should never underestimate the Lord, because He's never let me down. It hasn't been easy, but He's never let me down. He didn't let me go. He hasn't let me go hungry. He hasn't let me end up in the street in the gutter or something. And because get to my point first, is that I can't believe that, you know, that whole circumstance with everything that's happened to me, that I could have survived through a Minnesota winter in a camper, a Class C camper, not classy, well, it's kind of classy, but it's a Class C, classy camper. And that I could survive it with no income, and mainly in a lot over by Arby's and Walmart and I forget what the other stores are over there. And there's other lots too. I've bounced around and stayed in. I've even stayed in this lot right behind me over that way especially when my water pump went out, my fuel pump. My fuel pump went out, and I was stuck there for a couple days in this here holiday lot. You know, it's weird, and then I was really an emotional wreck when that happened. Oh my! I was stuck at the pump that it wouldn't start because the fuel pump had went out, and I'd already put over $5,000 into parts in this thing, hoping I wouldn't have a breakdown while I'm still trying to find, create, or get income or job or whatever I'm supposed to be doing. And when that fuel pump went out at the pumps, I was a mess, because I'm thinking, this is my only home. Everything else has already been taken from me. I can't lose my camper. You know, what am I going to do? You know, the good Lord's provided. And He just keeps doing it, so I can't complain that way. He's definitely sent people and helped to me throughout the whole winter, between churches in the community and new friends I've met, and other nomadic people too that live in their cars and vans and stuff, have helped me at different points too. I've helped them too. But so it's kind of a different kind of community when you get into the homeless community, or the homeless community, or the nomads that live in their vans or cars, that a lot of us don't consider that homeless. It can be, and the city or the government considers it homeless. But in a way, we feel like, for people that want to kind of live the nomadic life, especially the way I'm doing it, I've got it really good compared to a lot of people. You know, I basically have a house on wheels. You know, I got room to stand up and move around. I got a 3-burner stove in here. You know, I got to put a microwave in yet when I can afford it. I pulled out the old one because it was an old dinosaur that pulled like 1,500 watts, and it was old and shorting out, so like you can only try to heat something like 30 seconds at a time, and it would kick my inverter out or whatever. So there's a new one. When I get a new one, the one I want to get's like 900 watts. It was $89 on sale before, quite a while back, but now it's probably like 100 and something. 900 watts 3-way. It'll go in here fine and work good. And it's microwave, convection oven, and air fryer all in one. And that, I'm looking forward to putting that in here, because I can use it for heating stuff up and everything with my electric from my solar power, and then I wouldn't be burning propane for the stove as much, unless when I'm cooking. Which right now, that's been my main source of cooking, is 3-burner propane stove. So I'm either cooking in a frying pan or a pot, or a tea kettle for water. And for the last couple months or so here, I've had the fridge shut off and just store water or pop, bottled pop or whatever in there, stuff that ain't gonna, it's not perishable stuff like. And that saves me a lot on propane. Now, pretty soon here I'm gonna hopefully be able to afford to run it somehow, so I can at least kind of keep stuff cooler in the summer when it gets hot. Because it's nice when it's hot to be able to drink something cold or have a bottle of ice that's melting into ice cold water. I might try it in stages. I might try to like pack the freezer full of bottled water to freeze, and then if I shift everything that's frozen into the refrigerator and put new water in the freezer, bottled water to freeze it. If I can do that, I've done it before with the house fridge, and then the fridge hardly ran at all. With all that ice in there, and bottled ice and stuff, it stayed cold for so long. Even when I was out of power, when the power poles got knocked out one time in a storm for a week, and you could still make pop slushy by putting it in the freezer because there's so much ice in there. But I got sidetracked again there, didn't I? And I'm getting long. Oh my goodness gracious. We're heading on our way to 22 minutes. Once again, thanks for watching. God bless you, and we'll see you on the next one.